Have you ever been accused of something so serious it destroyed your name in a single night? Imagine losing your family, your home, and your future at 17. Then, 10 years later, the truth finally comes out. Would you forgive or protect your peace? This is the story of a boy cast out by everyone he loved, who meets a silent mentor, learns a trade, rebuilds his life from nothing, and faces the lie that almost killed him inside. The pain is real. Shame, abandonment, guilt that was never his. If you've ever been judged without a chance to explain, this story is yours. What happens at the end will change the way you see forgiveness and justice forever. Jackson was a quiet kid who fixed things and kept his head down. He loved routine, small wins, and the feeling of a bolt tightening in his hand. When his adoptive sister told a lie that destroyed his name, the room turned on him in seconds. His father hit him. His mother looked away. His brother spit beside his shoe. No one asked a second question. No one checked a single fact. He slept in his car behind a gas station, bleeding into a shirt that didn't belong to him anymore. The American monk crossed the county road like a man with time to spare. He found Jackson washing dishes in a diner, scrubbing as if the stains were his fault. The monk asked for coffee and said almost nothing. He helped close the place, wiped a counter, and fixed a flickering bulb. He wasn't there to save a life. He was there to give it a place to stand. That night, Jackson realized the world hadn't ended. It had just started without him. The monk rented a small cabin by the river and kept the door open. Jackson brought groceries, tightened a loose hinge, and stayed for the silence. The monk asked plain questions that didn't leave much room to hide. "Do you hate her?" the monk asked. "I hate what she did," Jackson said. "Then hate the lie, not the liar." They watched the slow water move like a clock that never lies. "First lesson," the monk said, "when someone lies about you, you have two choices: become the lie or outlast it." Jackson didn't argue. He was tired of arguing. He got a dishwashing job, then learned to fix things around the diner. A bad seal on a walk-in, a thermostat, a stubborn compressor. He slept upstairs in a room with a door that actually locked. The monk didn't preach. He pointed. Second lesson: clean living beats loud defense. Live so clear the lie can't breathe near you. Jackson cut the alcohol, saved his pay, and kept his head down. Months later, the baby was born, with features no one could mistake for Jackson's. The truth showed up, but the damage was already concrete. His family moved. No apology, no correction, just absence. They met by the river again. "It still hurts," Jackson said. "It should," the monk answered. "Pain is how your soul stays honest." The monk skipped a flat stone across the current. Third lesson: forgiveness isn't for the innocent. It's for the wounded who refuse to keep bleeding. Jackson listened, not ready, but ready to work. Andy, the diner owner, pushed him toward HVAC night classes. "People always need heat or cold," Andy said. "Learn this and you'll eat." Jackson studied until the words stopped shaking in his head. He learned coils, airflow, static pressure, and why a cheap filter ruins a good system. He fixed units no one else wanted to touch. Each successful repair felt like a name returning to a face. He finished high school equivalency, then earned his HVAC certificate. Andy framed it in the diner hallway as if it were his own. Jackson bought a used truck, a second-hand tool set, and a hard hat that finally fit. The small town learned his face before his story. They called him when the AC died during Sunday service, when freezers failed at dawn. He showed up. He finished the job. He charged fare. A co-worker was accused of theft one summer. Jackson remembered what it felt like to be buried alive. He checked the return grill and found the envelope sucked into the duct. The boss apologized. The co-worker cried. Word spread that Jackson fixed more than machines. He kept working, slept hard, and skipped the urge to explain himself to anyone. He scrolled old family photos one night and shut the laptop fast. The past looked happy without him. That told him everything he needed to know. In the morning, he filed the paperwork and changed his last name to Winter. 10 years passed. The phone buzzed with a number from back home. An old girlfriend said the police had arrested his sister for another false accusation. In the investigation, she confessed. She had lied about Jackson too. There was no victory in it, only silence. His record was cleared, on paper, not in memory. Emails arrived, numbers called, and apologies tried to form sentences. His mother left a message through tears. His father said he was proud now, as if the past were a misunderstanding. Jackson listened once, then deleted the voicemails. He wrote letters he never mailed. He described the car he slept in, the grease that cracked his hands, the quiet that never helped. Then he placed the envelopes in a shoebox and shut the drawer. His mother brought a casserole and stood at the shop door with shaking hands. He told her to keep it. He told her to keep the memory too. She cried like someone who had just learned how to count pain. His father showed up a day later, leaning on the truck like it still belonged to him. "Let's clear the air," his father said. Jackson called building security and kept his voice level. "You're not my father," he said. "You're a stranger who chose not to ask a single question." The guard walked the man to the lot. Jackson returned to work and tightened a set screw until it held. Rumors said the family was falling apart. Job lost, nerves shot, a marriage broken. Jackson didn't celebrate. He just stood a little straighter at the bench. Karma wasn't his business. Standards were. A letter arrived. His sister asked to meet at Maple Ridge. He drove 2 hours through flat land and old fences and walked past metal doors. She looked smaller than memory, like someone grief had underlined. "Why me?" he asked. "Because you were safe to blame," she said, and I panicked. Safe. The word landed like a verdict no judge could write. She admitted the real father and the fear that followed. She said their parents had kept the lie for the child's sake, which only made it heavier. Somewhere, a little girl still believed a story that never happened. Jackson stood. The chair scraped the floor, and heads turned. "You stole 10 years," he said. "I hope sleep is hard." He left without rage and found a different kind of power in walking away. He sold the old rental and bought a small house with a yard that needed mowing. A graphic designer named Rachel redid his company logo and didn't ask for the story behind his eyes. He adopted a rescue dog that insisted on living in the center of the room. Work, dinner, invoices, sleep. Simple days, honest nights. Peace that didn't require permission. Another man she had accused reached out about a civil suit. Jackson testified. Calm, steady, no theatrics. When the judge ruled, the room felt lighter than air. That night, a voicemail came from his father. Late-stage cancer. One last meeting. Jackson replayed it once, then deleted it. Not out of hate, out of self-respect. The American monk returned without announcement, sitting at the back table of the diner. He didn't order much. He didn't need much. Jackson sat down across from him with coffee that didn't shake. "The truth caught up," Jackson said. "It usually does," the monk answered. They watched the parking lot and let the silence work. "I didn't forgive," Jackson admitted. "You didn't lie either," the monk said. "You protected what you built." Jackson waited for a sermon that never came. "Forgiveness is a gift," the monk said finally. "Not a shortcut, not a rule." Jackson nodded. He could live with that. He already was. Business stayed steady. He trained 2 apprentices who reminded him of the boy he used to be. He showed them how to level a condenser and also how to keep their names clean. He kept a box of unopened letters on a shelf in the back room. It was heavy, but not heavier than he could carry. Some weights build muscle, some weights build judgment. The American monk left town before sunrise, footprints erased by morning deliveries. No one noticed, because that's how wise people do their work. Jackson locked the shop and headed home to a house that finally felt like his. He didn't need apologies to move forward. He didn't need revenge to feel whole. He needed truth, work, and a name he could stand inside. Truth that endures is stronger than apologies that arrive late. If this story moved you, don't let it end here. Follow for more true stories that make you feel. Like, share, and help this message reach someone who needs to hear it. Because sometimes, one story can change the way we see everything.